What's up, everybody? John from Old Reading Farm here. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, we're gonna build a little platform. So in our last video, you saw me put the start to this platform with these little beams. They were big, heavy beams. Definitely hurt my back doing it, so But today, I have milled all of the lumber that I need to build the actual floor for it, and hopefully enough to frame at least 2 of the walls, if not 3. And I haven't planned this out at all. So you and we're going on a journey together, and we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna build it together, and I hope you're ready, because we haven't had a building video in a long time since we built the emu house, and that was months ago. So let's get started. All right, so I'm here in the back of my tractor right now. Hiya! That was a mistake. Anyway, so what we've got here is an approximate 12 by 12 platform. Now, I say approximate because it's all rough cut and nothing is secured right now. It's all just kind of dry fit. But so what I have here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 4-inch thick beams that go across. And I have 3, I think they're 5-inch thick beams going the same direction as these floorboards here. So basically, the beams coming this way are being supported by beams going that way. And I did that so that I could make sure that the 7 main beams are level or as level as possible. So this is gonna be a chainsaw carving shed. So previously what I was using was this little platform, and that was only 8 by 8. So I could have just used that and, built some walls around it and called it a day, but I really wanted some more space. And this is gonna provide me with plenty of space here, because I wanna be able to have like a shelf on one side so that I can easily do some touch-up sharpening and fill my gas tank. And I wanna be able to have the gas out here, rather than taking up space up there, because what I want to be able to do eventually is be able to just come out here, chainsaw carve, and go back inside. Right now I have to grab all of my saws, I have to grab the gas can, the oil can, I have to grab my chaps, I have to grab my headphones, I have to grab a ton of stuff, and then I have to throw it in the tractor, I have to throw it in the truck, and then I have to drive all the way down here, and then I can get started after I set up everything. Yada, 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 yada. So what I want to be able to do is just come down here and get going. Because what would be nice is on my lunch break, if instead of, and it's only a little bit of time, but 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there of setup, it adds up. So anyway, if I can come down here with nothing but my headphones and chipper personality and get to carving, I think that is the goal. So what's next, you may ask? So what I think I'm gonna do first is I have some, I think they're 6-inch nails. So first thing, I wanna make sure that all of my beams are spaced so that my floorboards are gonna be secure. And then I'm gonna nail in my main beams to my lower beams. And then I'm gonna snap a line so that I can get a clean edge. Zoop. And I apologize for the wind. I don't know if you can actually hear it or not, but maybe that would be another plus of having a shed out here, is that I would be out of the elements, because it's been tough having to chainsaw carve in our old alpaca barn. But anyway, so what I want to do is once I get these beams all secured, I'll snap a line going down this way and then just trim all those boards off. And I'll do the same thing going that direction. You'll see I have a couple that I need to join up in the middle, so I'll need to be careful about that. But so I think step 1, secure these main beams. All right, and also you'll see there's a little gap here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my 2x6 framing and I'm gonna have another row right here, so I don't lose any space coming this way. I actually kind of gain space. And maybe I'll see if I can do the same thing here. I'm not sure if that will be possible. But so what I'm talking about is, instead of having a 2x6 lay on top of my floorboards, maybe I'll see if I can have my 2x6 laying on this main beam so that I don't take up any floor space there. Okay, so we got a nice, pretty straight line there. Again, sorry for the wind. But so yeah, so I think I'll definitely be able to take one of my 2x6s there and lay it right on here so I have a nice edge. But so you'll see how there's much more space on this side than there is down there. So maybe I'll either inch this over, or maybe I'll see if I can inch the other end that way. But hold on one second, I'll show you what I mean. All right, so this board is pretty bowed, so it's not a great example. But so this is gonna be the bottom plate for my studs going up. And so this way I don't need to put it on top of that, so that instead of losing 6 inches on top of my floor, I'm actually gaining 6 inches. And so I might need to do the rest in time lapse because the wind is crazy, so I don't want to kill you guys with a bunch of wind noise. So I'm gonna just stop for a minute and I'll be back. Oh man, it is so cold. The wind is killing me. But anyway, check it out. We got ourselves a platform. I know that's not the most exciting thing. Admittedly, it's not that exciting, but it's ready. And so, so I can have a framed wall on the front, on that side, on the back, and then on this side I'll need to have it up on the floor, but that's okay. I just don't have enough. I don't have enough space to run a 2x6 on this. I could have probably tipped this a little, but no big deal. All right, so that's exciting. So I'm gonna have to come back another day, maybe tomorrow. I think it's supposed to actually be a little bit warmer too. And start framing out the walls. I also need to figure out where I'm gonna put the door. I want a big door, but I wanna get out of this wind and out of the wind noise, so I'll be right back. Well, I had foolishly hoped that I would get the walls up so I could put a roof on this before the snow that we're supposed to get tomorrow, but did not. So you will notice that these walls have very far apart spaced studs, which is not, standard in house building. But so basically these aren't really gonna hold any load. The only things that are gonna hold the load are the front and the back, because the roof rafters are gonna go that way. And so I will have 2x6s for the roof rafters, and I'll have some beams on the back, so it'll be nice and strong. These are really just here for whatever. And I'm gonna have, I think, horizontal either shingles or just slats Again, this doesn't need to be super nice. This is really just for me to stay out of the elements. And so the one interesting thing that I had to do was, so this side, like I talked about, is going right on the main beam right here. But this side is sitting on top of the floorboard. So I just had to cut these studs just a little short. But anyway, it looks good, works for me. These 2x6s are really heavy, so that's not a lot of fun. And I am also gonna need a lot more. So yeah, you know, I'm sort of rethinking that I could have gone thinner on the floorboards. And if I had gone thinner on the floorboards, I would have been able to get more of them, because if I did, you know, an inch thick instead of 2x, I would have probably gotten, you know, not twice as many, but at least 50% more boards. And then I would have more for framing the walls, etc. But it doesn't really matter because I have plenty of wood. So I'm gonna mill some more wood for the front and the back. It's actually starting to rain right now, which is not ideal. So I'll also need to figure out where I want to put the main door, how big I want the door opening to be, and how tall this front wall should be. Because these walls are 80 inches and it's about 11 feet front to back. So I think the minimum pitch for the metal roof is 212, which means it'll have to be a 2-foot step from the front to the back, basically. Meaning that the front walls will need to be 2 feet taller than the back walls. And so what I'm also thinking here is I want a big door in the front. You know, so maybe even like, so this is about 14 feet. So maybe even like a 6-foot door, or maybe even bigger than that. So, you know, like taking up that much space at least, because I'd like to be able to, if I need to, you know, with some of these bigger pieces, I'll just flip it up and I'll carve on the ground. Like you'll see I'm actually working on this bear right over there. So you see him he's right on the ground because he's a little too heavy to get into there. But you know, if it's raining, I want to be able to get the tractor to put, you know, a big log inside here, and then I can maneuver it around. And you know, I think someday I'd like to have a lot of guys get like a motorcycle lift that has like a flat base and then you can lift it up. So that way for like those bigger logs, I can put that on there. And then I think for the back, I'm gonna have to do like little small sections of stud walls. So you'll see I'll have that like 16-inch or 24-inch on center for the back. So it'll be nice and strong, and I'll just have to, you know, section it together. Because I don't have too many boards, or I don't know how many logs I have left that are long enough to go the full span across here. But it doesn't really matter. And especially since right here, I'm gonna have a big opening right in the center anyway, it doesn't really matter, so. All right, guys, well, thank you for joining me for part 2 of my chainsaw carving shed build. Hopefully part 3 I'll have it done for you, because I know this isn't your ideal thing, but we'll get back to the animals next week. And again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.